Look.
Listen.
Welcome, one and all. Okay, first of all, yeah, it's a podcast. Yeah, it's about Pokemon and other things. But can you tell I'm already annoyed that they've done this to me again, Taylor? It's me, Michael, and I'm here to say we've got a podcast in a major way. And it's supposed to be about Horizons, the Pokemon anime. You know, Liko Dot and Roy, right, Taylor?
Yes, Liko.Roy.
But these animators, I guess they just got their new vacation bonuses in and they're gotta cash them all out. I wish they would cash them out, but no, they're taking their vacation. So they took weeks off for Christmas. And now they're taking off another week. I mean, I guess it's for the best, right, Taylor? If it turns out they make the better episodes.
Yeah, copy and pasting a slideshow is a lot of work.
All right. So what are we going to do today, Taylor? I'm going to tell you what we're going to do today. We're going to discuss, unbelievably, the very last Pokemon movie to ever come out. Now, let's think about this for just 1 second. Ever since 1998, they've released a Pokemon movie every single year.
I thought you were going to say 1911 for some reason.
Well, maybe it was Celebi, who knows? But 1998, they released a Pokemon movie. Then 2020 happens. I don't know why, what could have happened that year, but something happened, and then they said, you know what? Never mind. Let's just stop. So we haven't had a Pokemon movie in 6 years. We better get one this year for the big 30th anniversary, or I'm going to lose it. That's right, Taylor. Today we're discussing a movie. I mean, first we got to get through our first intro segments, obviously.
First question from the audience is, does Pokemon Company normally do anniversary events?
Always. There's always a huge, giant thing.
I've grown so accustomed to anniversaries for series being incredibly underwhelming. Tales anniversaries, Final Fantasy anniversaries, Dragon Quest anniversaries, Persona anniversaries. Every single one of these, I'm like, ooh, they're going to announce either a new entry or a sick remaster or remake I've been looking for. But no, it's like, oh, hey, there's a plush that you can buy.
Taylor, this is the biggest entertainment product. This is the biggest product in the world, Pokemon. So it's 30th anniversary. We're going to get on Pokemon Day. They're going to announce Generation 10. They're going to announce a new movie. You just know it. Anyway, real quick, before we get into Geese of the Week, what we've been peeping, no Geese Peep this week. I just wanted to say, Taylor, I don't know if I doubt you're aware of this. The movie we watched today is actually part 3 of an alternate timeline of like an alternate dimension Ash retelling story. Some of the things of which you've seen. The first one was Pokemon I Choose You, the movie we saw in theaters where Pikachu talked. And also one of the parts of it was, remember we watched that Ash Goodbye series where he sees Latios and he's talking to that dead kid, remember? The little ghost boy?
Yes, I do. I had just started recording with y'all, and that was a heavy episode.
So all of that stuff is tied in with this, the movie we're going to discuss today. But before we discuss the movie, which I think we were pleasantly surprised with. But
that explains so much about the movie.
Before we discuss that, it's time for our first segment. That's right, it's Peep of the Week, What We've Been Geesin'. Taylor, I have seen 28 years later, the Bone Temple. And Taylor, here's what I got to say to you. It's exactly what you said about Stranger Things. I'll stop myself real quick. I had fun with the movie. I found it very interesting, and I enjoyed it. That being said, I don't know why we're making movies, because it's just a TV show now. Every entry is just, let's throw in a big cliffhanger, and you go, ooh, okay, so there's another one coming out, I guess, soon, I guess.
It makes sense for this one, just because they kind of laid that timeline out whenever 28 years later was released. And Danny Boyle was like, listen, I have money now. We're making the trilogy.
What? I don't know what... Maybe Danny Boyle produced some of this. This is an Alex Garland script, but it was directed by somebody whose name I didn't recognize. I saw her name in the beginning of the credits. I said, who is that? But it's the woman who did the Candyman horror remake and Captain Marvel. She directed that. She's very young, Taylor. She's younger than us, which is impressive.
I didn't really care for Captain Marvel, but I really liked... I guess some of the cinematography in Captain Marvel was pretty cool, but that came out at a weird time, and it leaned a little bit. I think that was the start of the wave, which was like, hey guys, you remember the 90s? Guess what was in? What Danny Boyle did I don't know if he did this for the Trainspotting sequel, but for 28 Weeks Later, he said that he didn't want it to be the exact same thing as 28 Days Later, and he wanted a fresh perspective on it. So he got a different director, and that's what he said he was doing for this one too.
Right. Yeah. It's very different. I enjoyed it. not at all what I wasn't expecting anything because they never marketed this thing. I had to learn about it from you. And they're talking about, oh, it's a box office disappointment. Of course it is. Nobody knows it exists.
There was some YouTube poll, which I normally don't get too active in YouTube polls just because I'm hoping that it's they'll start recommending them less because it's just taking up room on my feed. But sometimes I'll go and look at the comments, and it was about Avatar, Fire and Ash, and everyone was saying, why did it do not too well? And I was thinking,
it did billions.
Yeah, it did, but it was still under expectations, or it was less than Avatar, Way of Water, or there was some metric that it fell short in.
Can I answer that question why that's true?
Yeah, we can both do it.
Oh, well, sick. I'll tell you why, Taylor, because the amount of time between Avatar 1 and Way of Water was 749,000 millennia. And the time from Way of Water to Fire and Ash was like 6 months. So obviously, there's more pent-up demand for a Way of Water than Fire and Ash. But
and
no,
people were just like, "What? Wait, what? It's okay. They must be just still showing it in theaters. They should have released it at the same time."
Calm down, everybody. Calm down. It did great. Nobody's sad. China will do it just fine. They'll go.
No, I don't think there's any worry about its financial benefit. I think that they were just projecting something similar, and it fell short of that. It's like a Square Enix disappointment,
guys. We got to be.
It's like, okay, yeah, it didn't, cure all disease, but it still did well financially.
It's fine. It's great.
So what I was kind of thinking to myself was, most of the audience, and this is something very odd, and granted, I don't have any social media, so I could be way askew here. I think a lot of the people that go to theaters to see movies still use billboards as a source of information. And I have seen no promotional material for any movies at all. And I'm assuming it's all done on YouTube or online or in movie theaters. But I see it as like previews, but I just see this complete lack of marketing. And it's like, of course, you're going to get a lower return.
I feel like DreamWorks Pictures will have a lot of billboards around town or on the sides of buses or something. Maybe like a Zootopia kind of guy. But yeah, other than that, it is more rare to see these days. Taylor, also, I want to tell you that I did the classic mistake.
Oh, no.
Nintendo announced they added some more Nintendo 64 games to their Switch Online service expansion pack, and I said, my God, I'm so excited. These are two games I read about Nintendo Power so much and wanted to play and never did. It was Rayman 2, The Great Escape, and Tonic Trouble, two Ubisoft games.
Oh, Tonic Trouble. I wanted to play that.
Well, Taylor, let me tell you now.
Your head shaking is telling me you're in disbelief with how good it is.
No, it's the exact same thing that happened to me in the past when I bought both Saga Frontier and Guardians Crusade, a.k.a. Night and Baby. These are two games that I read about in EGM so much, and I'd go, these are actually Saga Frontier. I'll never forget the memories I had watching the demo disc. There's this demo disc that had a little trailer for Saga Frontier, and it was the sickest thing I'd ever seen in my life. And I should have just kept that imagination image in my head, just that it would have been the coolest thing ever. I tried both of them and I hated both of them. I can't get into old games. Even with the Switch Online having like all the save states and all the rewind features, I have different standards now. I play games I need so much more, and I just can't take bare bones 3D platforming and bare bones PS1 RPG. I just can't do it. I don't know what to tell you. It's not fun to me. I get so bored so quick. I feel bad about it.
That's why I don't really go after remasters too much or remakes, because the gameplay has just changed so much. And this is actually something that I've talked to when people will kind of disparage Final Fantasy as a series. A lot of creators did that after 16, but it's real famous.
16's good.
16's fantastic, but people just keep saying, this isn't Final Fantasy. The last good Final Fantasy was Final Fantasy X or whatever.
That's silly. Just before you continue, I want to quickly say, not all games. I had the time of my life replaying the Castlevania collection, like Aria of Sorrow. Those games, they're super fun. Decades later. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, I think there are plenty of old games that hold up great. I play Legend of Dragoon still. It's very fun. It still has a combat system that's, like, even when you're grinding, you're still having fun because of how well the addition system holds up. And some stories are just incredibly good.
Can I finish talking about it before you go down whatever road you're going to go down? I just have one more sentence to say.
Yeah.
Just, in my defense, Tonic Trouble at the time got reviewed with like 3s out of 10 and 5s out of 10. So
oh no,
we're good with that one. But Rayman 2 is apparently a good game.
I used to love seeing it was either Game Pro or EGM when they would give a low review. It would be all grayed out.
Oh no!
Oh boy, they really let you know when a game was bad.
I mean, I didn't play either of them for that long at all, but just I'm not getting what I get when I play a Banjo-Kazooie or Super Mario 64. I'll tell you that much out of Rayman 2. Okay, Taylor, please continue with your line of thought.
So when people tell me about, this is just regarding Final Fantasy and people's love for the series and disdain for the series evolution. When people talk to me about not liking modern Final Fantasies like post 10, I normally say you're just not a Final Fantasy fan at that point, because that's like a quarter of the entries.
What?
Almost half of the entries are very good.
Screech and halt, because you've got 12. It's a very good Final Fantasy, but it is like an offline MMO. You have 13.
It's just divisive.
I love 12. We
It's
have 13,
fantastic.
We have 13, which most people dislike.
I love the whole trilogy.
Nobody other than Taylor and maybe 3 Japanese men have played 13, 2, and 3. But I bought them, never played them. Most people don't like 13. They have valid reasons. 14's an MMO. I don't think it counts. They shouldn't have given it numbered series, but that gives more sales, so whatever.
It's very good.
15 I did not like. I intend on beating it one day. I'm not going to die unless I get hit by a bus. I'm not going to die without beating all the numbered Final Fantasies, save 11 and 14 because they're MMOs. So I'm going to beat 15 one day, but it did not capture me. I got bored of that pretty quick. 16 I loved. So if we were talking after 10, the only ones I liked were 12 and 16.
So
those are the only ones I beat.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. It's interesting that... Yeah, I mean, 15 had a certain pace that I really liked, but I like that I like that pacing for the same reason that I liked it in the first 13 game, which people complain about anything. People loved the pacing in 7, but contextually, it didn't make any sense to go chocobo racing when there's a meteor, you know? In 15, at one point, because I got the platinum before all of the updates, before all the DLCs and the story changes.
Right, so for anybody unfamiliar, if you even care, if you're even listening, 15 had like a shortened chapter, and they said, guys, if you want to know what happened, you got to go to the theater and watch Kingsglaive, the movie, which Taylor and I did with his ex-girlfriend.
That was great. Wasn't there...
We're going to watch Kingsglaive Final Fantasy 15.
What an audience we had.
Yeah. But anyway, so eventually somebody said, that's dumb. And so they said, yeah, you're right. So then they patched in a full chapter that was just like a cutscene that said, watch the movie. So
well, there was additional stuff that they did, because it was after, I think, chapter 8, where you just get funneled into a sequence of completely linear stories where, not stories, but the story becomes very linear. And everybody hated that, but I was sitting there thinking, I mean, that makes so much sense. This is kind of a point of no return. Why would you be like, hey guys, I know this train's coming to a stop, but we needed to get off 5 seconds ago, so let's just hop off now and go do some bread growing. It was a silly argument to me. I understood it, but I think it added some gravity to the story, and I like stories where you have a bit of a gameplay stake as well. The thing that Final Fantasy does, kind of going back to what I was saying, is it evolves more quickly than our need for it. It's the same thing that Facebook used to do, where you had people who would complain and say, well, I liked it the way it was before.
Play Dragon Quest then.
Yeah, exactly. The reason that it is still relevant is because it evolves more quickly than our fatigue of it.
Yeah, they always want to change. Even from the beginning, they've always wanted to change Final Fantasy up in every iteration.
Yeah,
that's been its DNA from the beginning. But Taylor, did you have something for Geese of the Week? What you've been peeping this week?
It's been a week. I got another concussion.
No, an additional one since the one I heard about.
I got my big one last year where I couldn't walk in a straight line. This year, this guy hurls a ball. It's just. He was on the South African national team. He's like 6'4", and I think he weighs about 280, and he was maybe a meter away from me. And he just sidearmed hurled it directly into my eye. I lost vision. They had to pull me out of the pool. So I have a concussion cap coming. luckily, there's no brain bleed or anything, but I was in the emergency room for 3.5 hours waiting around.
They shouldn't be allowed to do that. They should send him to jail.
No, it's a mistake. It's not like he was intentionally doing it. I have met people who intentionally throw it at goalies' heads during games to kind of make them scared. And there was a kid in high school in Los Angeles that was playing with me that said he did that. And I said, you are not playing for like the lives of your loved ones. You need to not do that because it's not necessary. It's a game. We're throwing a ball around.
Shouts out.
So let's see. I did that. My big thing was I finished Stranger Things. I really keep going back and forth about the ending. Without spoiling it, I was not a fan of the path they chose for the most divisive ending, which is to say, effectively no path. I heard that the Duffer Brothers had a lot of disagreements about this character's ending, so they kind of went with neither and went for an open interpretation thing. The funny thing, and I'm normally okay with that, I like more decisive storytelling generally. I would have been okay with that, but in this case, I didn't like either of the options that they left for the audience. I was like, oh man, what a thing to do after, how many years has this show been going on? Almost a decade? Like 6 years, 7 years?
Yeah, 10 years sounds right. Long
10
time.
years?
Well, that's why there's so many conspiracy theories online. People saying, no, guys, here's all the reasons. Actually, this wasn't even the real ending, and we're going to get a secret drop of the actual real ending later. And then people made incredible, apparently, YouTube videos showing all these little clues left to show that wasn't real. And everybody just saying, wow, yeah.
That's fun,
I can't believe they didn't take advantage of that. That's great.
I love fan theories. If they ended this show with like a movie, I think that would be great.
The final episode was movie length, and they put it in theaters. It was like 2 hours long or whatever.
Yeah. I noticed that. The last episode I was pretty satisfied with, even though they left several characters just kind of like out to dry, where they're like, it doesn't really matter what happens to them.
Justice for Barb.
Just all very disjointed, all very, like I said before, it followed that same formula up until the last episode of waste your time for 50 minutes, 10 minutes is sick.
Yeah, and final season wasn't great, but you said you watched season 4 recently because season 4 was good. It had some very sick moments.
I think I haven't watched it recently. It was either season 3 that I didn't like or season 4.
See, people don't like 2 and 3, like the mall seasons and whatever, but season 4, you get
I love
some
season
of
2.
Season 4, you get some of the sickest moments in the whole series, really. Like, just show-stopping stuff with Eddie and with Sam. That's her name, right, Sam?
Who?
Is her name Sam?
Sure. I don't know who that is.
Sadie Sink.
Yeah, Max.
Sam and Max, the dog and bunny duo from the PC games. That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, she did a good job. I think season 4 was completely carried by Eddie. What a character. What a character. What was Billy? What season was he in? 3?
Billy? Isn't that early? Like
Max's
season 1?
Brother. No.
It had to be season 3, right?
It could be. I liked him. He was a sick character. Very interesting character. I love Steve. What a good job. I was such a fan of Maya Hawke's character, and this entire season, she had maybe one scene where I was like, yeah, good Maya Hawke.
She was
Every
rough.
other one, I was just so annoyed, and I couldn't wait for her to stop talking.
Yeah, the dialogue written for her was terrible. That
Poor
being
actors.
said, the daughter of Ethan Hawke and Uma Thurman, I think, could do a little bit better, no matter the material. But I don't want to be rude to her. It's fine, whatever. It was bad material.
I think the directing had to. If the storytelling was as combative as it seemed like, I mean, not like the brothers were getting into fights or anything, but I can't see there being a lot of cohesion on the set. There was a lot of like lack of chemistry between a ton of the characters.
Yeah.
I think Hop did such a good job listening to his dialogue and how interesting he made everything sound and how realistic his pauses were and how, oh boy, he did such a good job.
That could be editing too, but yeah,
sure.
every line they gave her is just let's make this plan, and here's a metaphor to what it's like.
And guess what? I'm not taking this very seriously, even though the town is divided in two by a giant crack. Time for a one-liner. It felt way too Marvel-y, and it felt way too much like every character knew that they were immortal.
Marvel movies are better than this season. There's only a couple Marvel movies that are just completely not entertaining. Vast majority of them, you're having a good time. Taylor, did you have more to say before we move on to Poke? Good.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
I watched Robin Hood and Sword in the Stone. Now, those are some
animated film.
Mm-hmm. Those are some, 80s movies?
much
70s,
much older than 80s.
60s? I don't know. But those are two movies that are just so good. You have these elements of horror in Sword in the Stone, and in Robin Hood, you just have this big, first of all, amazing song. What a song.
Robin Hood and Little John walk through the forest.
That's one of them, but the one that the rooster is whistling. Exactly.
I wonder if that'll get picked up. I don't know.
It probably will.
I'm always whistling that song.
Yeah, some label will pick it up. So there's a scene in that movie where everybody thinks, I don't even think it's thinking. Everybody knows that the town has basically fallen, and all of the characters are just totally impoverished, and the bad guys win. And it's like halfway through the movie, and you're watching this, and there's this kid crying to his mom, and it's like, what on earth? This is so good. And I'm looking at that, and I watch that movie, and then I go back to Stranger Things, where kids are just laughing on bikes as they get chased by monsters. And it's oh, what a difference. Yeah. Go check it out if you haven't.
Yeah, everybody watch Robin Hood, the Disney film with the fox.
Yeah.
Taylor, can we move on to
Poké-news of the week?
Not a lot in Poké-news of the week. This from Sarah B is probably exciting to some people, but not to me, because I feel like we've had 1,000 of these giveaways and events, but the Pokemon Go Community Day on February 1st, 2026 has been announced. It will be for Vulpix and Alolan Vulpix. Runs 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. local time. I don't know if it was the main games or something, but I know I have millions of these shinies, so not good. Also, the next Community Days have been released. We're going to get one March 14th, April 11th, May 9th, and then May 16th we'll get a Classic. And then finally, I didn't realize this. I just happened to notice in the app, but the Pokemon TCG Pocket Deluxe Pack EX has returned. So waste all your hourglasses on this because it only comes and goes. So this is your only chance to get it. It lasts until January 29th. So get yourself some great cards. Taylor, it is now time to discuss
episode Pokemon.
It's actually not an episode. It's an entire film of Pokemon. Can you please tell us in English the title of movie number 23 came out in the year 2020?
Pokemon the movie, Secrets of the Jungle.
Or in Japanese, 劇場版ポケットモンスター Coco. Good old Coco. All right, last time on Pokes, the previous movie, there was Lugia, The Power of Us. You remember, it was like the second movie. This is the third in that series of alternate universe, alternate timeline Ash. So this is a movie all about a little boy named Coco. He was a little orphan boy, like Taylor said at some point. He's just baby Tarzan. And
his father, who's named Ichibanya.
Yes, got him because his name's Coco. Yeah, named after the delicious restaurant by his father. Anyway, this is a boy. He was found in the jungle by the mythical Pokemon Zarude. What's great is at the time, 2020, they actually gave out all these Zarudes. They gave out regular Zarude. They gave out Dada Zarude with his little scarf. And also they gave away that shiny Celebi. So shouts out to everybody.
Dang.
Yeah, it was a great year for giveaways.
Now, every time I hear the words mythical Pokemon, my brain just doesn't understand what's happening. Because I thought mythical Pokemon were a one-of-one thing.
Yeah, that used to be the case.
So when there was a chant with Zarude, I was thinking, okay, all right, so I'm not right. So Zarude is not a mythical Pokemon.
He's a mythical.
There are just thousands of them.
Yeah, he's a myth. I mean, in the games, you could never catch him. He's only been in a giveaway as a mythical. Okay, so this is a movie all about this little boy. He thinks he's a Pokemon. He's going to grow up. He's going to meet Ash the little boy are going to solve some problems, and we're all going to learn all about, family and friends and growing as people. Taylor, that's what this movie's about.
And what is my real identity?
Exactly. So, just to make it clear, because Taylor was super confused at first, as was I, this movie opens with a bunch of Pokemon speaking English, but they're not actually speaking English. It's just the movie being nice to us.
When I heard them speaking English, I'm assuming that's Christopher Sabat in English because he voices everything.
Screeching halt, just real quick. Taylor watched in English, I watched in Japanese. So they were speaking Japanese on my end. Christopher Sabat was not speaking Japanese in my version.
That would be so sick if they just were like, hey, honestly.
Just knock them both out.
Everybody loves you. You do all of the work.
But no, they're just being nice in this movie. And whenever Pokemon are talking amongst themselves, they'll just give you our human language, but in real life, they're just saying Zarude, Zarude back.
I'm actually gonna give them more credit because for the first, I think it was 15 minutes, you just see all these Pokemon talking to each other, and I was like, okay, I'm okay with this. It's easier for the audience, and it's not like they're gonna have a kids movie with a bunch of visual storytelling. And we're just going to be really confused and have to interpret their animated body language. I think it's to have the moment where you first hear Coco.
Yeah, talk in the town.
When I heard him as a human next to Ash go, Zarude, I was like, oh my God, that's so sick.
That's when I realized it too.
Oh, so cool. What storytelling.
Yeah, it was very sick. Good movie. Okay, so we got Baby Coco. We got a bunch of Zarude flying around. We got him. They show, a little montage of him growing up, learning to walk. Zarude has so much character. I wish I'd watched this movie so long ago. I don't know why I never watched it because we weren't really watching the anime in 2020. But all I know is he's a mythical that's sitting in my Pokemon home. I didn't know all this about him and his cool little vine attacks, and he seems great.
The vines are real sick. And they didn't even do him justice in Pokemon Go.
Zarude is in Go, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
I forgot about that.
It was a paywall thing, and they didn't release him shiny, so I didn't get him. I haven't been playing a lot of Pokemon Go.
He hasn't been released shiny yet. Okay, so here's the thing with the plot of this movie. Just maybe I should have said this at the top. Because this is a full film, we don't have time to go through what I normally do, which is like each individual itemized thing that happens. We don't have time for that. I can't tell you every Pokemon that's on the screen, but we're gonna get through the plot. It's gonna be fine. We're all gonna have a great time.
It's a good movie. It has very good pacing too. I frequently would look at it's on Netflix right now as well. At a certain point, I looked down, paused it. I was 50 minutes in, and I was like, oh man, this is good. Like, I was very surprised at the quality of this movie, especially after the I Have a Voice special Pikachu edition.
Yes, which, again, I say it every time, but it was better in Japanese. Okay, so Dad as Zarude is what we're going to call this Zarude. He's the main character, and at some point he finds himself a little scarf, so that way the audiences can tell him apart from all the other millions of Zarudes.
It's such a good idea, because you could tell that the animators were like, ooh, we're going to give each Zarude its own unique foliage, and you'll be able to tell them apart. At one point, it's Dada in English is what they call him. At one point, Dada doesn't have his cape on, and it took me half a second to lose him.
Oh, there's an entire scene where Dada Zarude is fighting with another Zarude, and I didn't realize that was him.
You're just like the guy with the gun on the roof.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Let's start getting to the plot because we're not very far.
Yeah.
Dada Zarude finds a baby, brings it back to all his community of Zarude with the big tree of life, exciting heart tree. Oh my God, they got the healing spring. It's magical.
The baby's in a future crib as well.
Yeah, and he's got a stinky diaper. All the Zarude are not okay with this. You see, Taylor, in the land of Zarude, they live by Zarude law, and you can't have outsiders over here. Even though the elder of the Zarudes is actually kind of okay with it a little bit.
Yep.
He's a little nicer, but here's the thing. Sorry, rules are rules, laws are laws, Dada Zarude. You're out of here. We're going to exile you. And he says, well, fine, because I'm not going to let this little baby die. So
we learned from Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift, no outsiders.
Exactly. Even though it breaks the law, even though you think if we bring in an outsider, it's going to be a slippery slope and everything's going to be destroyed, and it's going to lead to our destruction, I don't care, because I got to watch after this baby.
Now, this presents, at this point, if you're watching the English dub, the first instance of very confusing casting occurs. There are two big ones, and they're unfortunately the biggest ones. They gave Zarude Rival, and Dada a very similar voice, almost indistinguishable.
That's fine.
They also did this for Ash and Coco.
Oh,
so half the time you just don't know. If you look away from your screen for a second, you're just going to miss who's talking.
No, that's too bad. Japanese, it's great. Okay, let's see. So we do see. By the way, I think I mentioned this before. They live in a big giant tree. Reminds me of the tree from Final Fantasy IX. What's it called? The Ifa tree.
Yeah, what a name for a location.
And or the tree in Dragon Quest XI, just a big tree of life, big.
Yeah, Yggdrasil and Tales of Symphonia.
Yeah, exactly.
Symphonia.
Tales
of Symphonia.
So we're gonna meet in one of these several montages. We're gonna meet best character in the show, Baby Squovit from So this is a Generation 8 movie. So you see a ton of Sword and Shield Pokemon in this. So I'm guessing this fictional anime exclusive area is in Galar because Zarude is the mythical of Generation 8, Sword and Shield Galar. So
okay, they don't have trees in the UK.
So we see Zarude find his little scarf. It's in the lab that Coco's parents were from. And my God, we're gonna cut to see Ash is in this movie, and he's in this town by the jungle for some reason. I don't believe they ever explain what he's doing here.
Now at this point, I'm kind of wondering. Okay, so he has Pikachu. It's a different English voice actor, which was a little jarring, or it seemed like it was different. And there are no companions to Ash.
Right. In this universe, he didn't go off with Brock and Misty or anything.
Okay. All right.
Okay. So this is where we learn that Coco has learned to speak Pokemon. So that's fun. And oh my God, Taylor, all the berries in the forest have been destroyed and eaten, and all the Pokemon are furious. We get a funny little scene of Zarude trying to scare the Pokemon, Dada Zarude, and the Stunky gets so afraid he sprays his stinky spray, and everybody's having a good time. Everybody's laughing, Taylor. Then we get a scene that I thought was pretty funny. Coco gets the idea of becoming a farmer, and he says, what if we grow our own berries? What if we take the seeds and we put them in the ground? And I think Dada Zarude says, yeah, it's a pretty good idea. Maybe we should do that. Which is annoying because as we learned in this movie, the Zarude have full power to just create plants at will. So I don't know why.
Well, I think it's just him.
No, remember the end of the movie? They all do it. They all pull their little seeds out of their little wrists.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Okay. Anyway, they're having fun doing that. Let's cut back to Ash with his
Shouts
Pikachu.
out to Fern Gully.
This is the biggest Fern Gully film you've ever seen in your life. They even have the robot from Fern Gully.
There's so many scenes that are just straight Fern Gully.
It's just Fern Gully. It's fine. We like Fern Gully. We like Secrets of the Coco, Itrabanya. Okay, let's cut to Ash and Pikachu. They find a Cramorant. Like I said, it's it's Galar. And Taylor, who do we have hiding in the bushes watching Ash?
I wish Geese was here.
Yeah, she's not.
I was very excited to see them. It's Team Rocket.
Team Rocket. By the way,
Jesse has a new outfit. James does not.
Well, that's fine. It's hot out there. It's warm. Shouts out to Pikachu's adorable little safari hat. His cute little exploring hat. It's great.
Every time that because sometimes this doesn't happen, every time they took a swing at making a Pokemon look cute, they succeeded.
Yeah, they did a great job.
Squovit, spoilers, Meowth in his costume later.
Oh, Wobbuffet with his glasses? Are you kidding
me? Oh, yeah.
Okay, so Ash is going to lose a Flapple. He's chasing after a Flapple and trips over some researchers. In English, is it called Biotope, the company?
Probably. I don't actually remember the name of the company.
So I believe the company's called Biotope, and it's run by a guy named Dr. Zed. It's a regular Quasartico from Legends ZA, honestly. They claim that their goal is to have Pokemon and humans live in harmony, and it's going to be great.
It was so funny as they were introducing him because he comes onto screen and you're immediately thinking, oh yeah, this is a villain. Like this is 100% a villain. Exactly. And then later on you're like, well, he's actually surprisingly empathetic towards the kid. And then later on you're like, oh, never mind.
Yeah, I watched before I watched this film, I watched the English trailer, and the trailer makes it clear within a second that it's the biggest villain you've ever seen.
It's just very fun. I actually would say this is a much worse villain than
he's
99% of the Pokemon world.
Yeah, I'd much rather have just all the explorers than this guy. My God.
Yeah, or Giovanni that's just like, I just want strong Pokemon, as opposed to this guy.
Big spoilers, this man is a murderer. Like,
yes.
He's killed multiple people.
He goes... Yes, and actually, at the end of this movie, because this movie is so much like so many Disney movies, it's like Rescuers Down Under, it's like Fern Gully, it's like Tarzan, just boy, with a lot of its themes. But yeah, this guy's a villain.
Yeah, big time. Yeah, so they're looking for the healing springs where the Zarude live in the big tree of heart, and it's going to be great. Okay. We get a kind of a sad scene, if you ask me, next. It's Coco asking Dada Zarude, his father, when is he finally going to finally going to learn how to use his vines? And Zarude Dada makes a little excuse like, oh, it'll come to you one day, I'm sure.
But in English, he says, you'll do fine, or you're doing fine without them, or you'll do fine without them. And I thought, okay, well, that's a decent way of sidestepping that.
Well, I actually don't remember. Maybe he didn't say that you'll use them one day. But he actually, huge spoilers, he does figure out how to use them. Okay.
Somehow.
Somehow. Okay, so the Pokemon are fighting. They're getting in, like, the jungle Pokemon. Coco jumps in to try and stop the fighting. Because here's the thing about Coco. Coco is, in his heart, a human being, and he cares deeply for all Pokemon. So he's always trying to solve everybody's problems. So we're going to get so many flashbacks where Coco's sees a Pokemon in an injured Pokemon or a Pokemon in need, and he goes to help him. But then Dada Zarude said, we can't. That's not our responsibility, because all the Zarude are just look after Zarude. Don't worry about anybody else.
Which is kind of weird for Pokemon, for like a mythical tribe of Pokemon that are intrinsically linked to the sacred heart of the forest. You would think there would be more of a protect all life mentality.
Here's my guess. I think somebody wrote Zarude laws after because you know the classic phrase, you hear it every day, no good deed goes unpunished. I bet in the past they did used to look after everybody, and big spoilers, the end of this movie, they're going to go back to helping everybody, I'm sure. But I think what led to the Zarude laws is they tried helping somebody, it backfired on them. They got hurt, and now they're just, closed off, and they're not going to help anybody because they don't want to disturb or hurt their tribe. Okay, so Coco's trying to stop a big fight between Flygon and Pangoro. Nothing Squovit can do about it. He's a baby little squirrel. What's he going to do?
I love Pangoro so much.
He was on my team.
Such a good design.
And then Coco sees that Flygon has all these injuries, so he says, Flygon, come with me to the healing river that the Zarude say we're not allowed to use. And magically and mysteriously, all of his wounds are healed in the river. Very sick, very sick.
So there's a weird thing that happens with this. The idea of, I'm going to make an exception to the rule. You would think that if Coco was raised by Zarude law, it would be inconceivable to break that. There would be no system of kind of human sovereignty of like, I can interpret this the way I want to.
No, look, it's like, what, there's ever been a rebellious teenager in the history of the world, Taylor? Of course he can. It's in his nature.
But like you would assume it would be like
he has his mother's heart, Taylor.
Like you don't run from the police kind of thing. Like it would be something where you'd be like, that's just a no-fly zone.
Well,
like,
Taylor, it's not like he's lived with the tribe. He literally is an outcast with his father. He's all
Chalk
about
it up to bad parenting.
He's all about breaking the rules.
And TikTok.
Anyway, an Alpha Zygarde finds him in there, chases after him. He's not supposed to be doing that. Oh my God.
Alpha Zygarde?
Did I say Zygarde?
Yes.
I even wrote Zygarde.
I was thinking, what on earth?
An Alpha Zarude. Oh my God. You're telling me it was all those Zarude that ate all the berries of the Pokemon? Wow. And they get into a whole giant fight. Thank goodness Dada Zarude shows up though. And, guys, Dada Zarude, Coco, we're all here now. Please stop trespassing. You're not allowed here anymore.
Please.
The elders being nice about it, but Zarude law. You know Zarude law. And then this is where Coco brings up to Elder and everybody else. He says to them, all the other Pokemon work together. look at them. Look at those jungle Pokemon. They're always helping each other out, and they live in harmony. Why can't we? And they just say, it's Zarude law.
So strange.
We get a line from Coco talking about, but I'm a Zarude too. And I realize, oh, he's never in his entire life seen another human, except for when he was a baby, but he's forgotten that.
But it's just, that's the only thing that's kind of bothering me now that I think about it, where he looks at himself and says, also, where do you get the sick tattoos? He looks at himself and says, yes, I am a Zarude.
There's no mirrors.
There's the water.
Sometimes
he can see his hands, remember?
Yeah, that's the big thing is his hands, yeah.
I'd love to see the first conversation about that with Dada.
Well, he knows he's different. That's I don't know how many times I got to tell you this, Taylor, but he knows he's an outcast. He knows he's not allowed to be with the tribe, and he probably assumes it's because he is different. Anyway, we get some more flashbacks of him caring for some hurt pokes. Adorable, because we rarely see this in Pokemon, but we see Squovit trying to say Coco's name, and he kind of does it in his Squo, like Squo. And then out of nowhere, when Coco is doing his little Tarzan vine swinging, he hits his head on a metal pipe in the jungle. Oh my God, what is this? Big Tech, Big Pharma, Fern Gully, Quizortico? I forget the name of the industry, and Taylor doesn't even know it at all.
Not even a little bit. Biotech? Sure.
Oh, actually, that sounds close. So he hits his head, falls in the water, he almost drowns, but who saves him, Taylor?
It's Ash.
Ash saves him, and then we cut to Zed, Dr. Zed, and the researchers discussing the spring of life, and Team Rocket, as we discussed earlier, have gone undercover as researchers.
Which is interesting because maybe you can kind of explain to me their motivations in this movie?
Great question.
Half the time I was thinking, man, I'm so happy to see Team Rocket again. Why? Because it wasn't just a normal, like, let's go after Pikachu. At one point, they were like, well, the doctor's door is locked, so we got it. That's priority one.
Well, that's a huge plot point, is them trying to get details in this room. I don't know.
Correct.
We got a lot to get through. We'll worry about Team Rocket later. Let's see Coco. He's waking up in a bed in the Pokemon Center, and he goes insane. He has no idea why he's seeing these things that don't look like Pokemon. All this civilization. He's jumping on chandeliers. He's grabbing onto things.
Of course he is, because Spider's never been in regular human technology rooms.
Exactly. And this is the scene Taylor and I both were so amazed when they finally cut to, from Ash's perspective, what Coco is saying, which is just Zarude.
And the voice actor in English, despite sounding just exactly like Ash, again, casting, why? Did a very good job speaking differently in the Pokemon dialect, because it didn't sound like a person speaking, like reading how a Pokemon would sound. It sounded like just a Pokemon.
Maybe they didn't have enough money, so it is just the same actor. Okay,
He's
anyway,
so fun.
During all this chaos of Coco running around destroying everything, a Dreadnought starts to go wild, but Coco saves the day. He just jumps in front of it, talks to it in Pokemon language, and Ash is just saying, wow, you're one crazy cat. And then Coco starts seeing everybody use their Pokeballs, and he's freaking out, thinking all these Pokemon are dying. He grabs Ash's Pokeball, and it's a fun.
Oh, it's so good. He tries to lick Ash's Pokeball.
Yeah, it was fun. That's good. Good time.
It's a very fun. I like when people throw in a fresh perspective to stuff that we take for granted in series. Like this, I mean, this is a great example of it, where it's like, oh, we see a Pokeball, it's super normal, but if you really think about it, that's wild technology.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's Capsule Corp, Dragon Ball. So then Ash and Coco, they introduced each other to themselves. What? He talks in his Pokemon language. Then they do their little hand touch thing we were talking about before. That's how Coco and I guess the Zarude say hello, is they just touch hands together. The music in Japanese here is kind of fun. Sounds like Mario Kart. Do you remember the music being god awful in English? During the ice cream and buying clothes scene.
I don't really remember any of the music, so I'm gonna assume it's okay. I mean, I remember the intro and the outro, but
in Japanese, this scene is where they go to the fun concert and everybody having a great time dancing, have a fun montage till sunset. The music in Japanese is great. Sounds like a fun Mario Kart track. And the song even ends with some New Orleans jazz horns, so that's fun. Okay, it's nighttime, time for Coco to run away. And here's the thing.
We need to real quick talk about how ridiculously powerful Coco is for a human.
Oh my God.
Because there's some feats
he got that Zarude in him.
He really does.
He needs to, because big spoilers into the movie. He needs to become an Olympian. He needs to join the Olympic team.
Oh, he would ruin competition.
He'd destroy it. Okay, so here's the thing. Normally, we have a big, giant celebration, bunch of fireworks, celebrate, Celebi, whatever, in this city here that we call home. But there's a bunch of phalanx that are stopping us from doing it. Why?
I never really understood how the phalanx were actually stopping anything.
Well, because they're saying stop it, because one of the phalanx pieces is just sitting in a firework dispenser. So Coco learns this and goes and saves him.
Uses his ability to communicate to Pokemon.
Yeah, it was great. It was a wonderful time. Ash, by the way, is talking to the mayor of the town at some point during all of this, and he learns the history about Celebi is the guardian protector here, and he likes to bring an egg from the future. And I was thinking, ooh, I wonder who was in that egg. Was it Dad Azarude? Who could say?
I was really thinking, is Celebi going to be a significant part of this movie?
Oh, yeah, you would think, huh?
You sure would.
Yeah, that's pretty
They make him seem super important.
Yeah, I wonder if he's shiny. I don't know.
There's something we didn't talk about earlier, which is Pikachu being a translator between Ash and Coco. Which is
insane because so Ash can speak Pikachu now? It's crazy.
I mean, Ash has always kind of understood Pikachu.
Yeah, a little bit.
I think Pikachu understands Ash.
Oh, big time. That's why it's great when Meowth is around, because he can translate for everybody.
Meowth and Coco needs to join Team Rocket.
Yeah. Then everybody wins.
Exactly.
Okay, so now we're going to get a scene of Ash and Coco talking. They see a family together, and Coco tries to tell Ash all about Dad Azarude. And so then they go into the jungle. Immediately, Dad Azarude captures Ash and Pikachu, super upset that Coco ran off, and he's bringing in these outsiders. What are you trying to do? Speak in human? My son wants to be friends with all the Pokemon? Oh, my, they get into a giant argument. They're fighting, and then Dada says, all right, you know what? It's time you found out. Follow me, son. And then we cut to nighttime Team Rocket shenanigans, looking up.
Ash is also part of all of this. He's just sitting there watching these two have an argument.
Yeah, well, he's tied up in vines, but
also was very appreciative of the storytelling because Dada wasn't like he's been avoiding this topic for a really long time, and he doesn't try to skirt the issue. He just says, "Okay, follow me." And it wasn't a way of just prolonging the explanation. It was a way of fleshing out the explanation.
Yeah, showing him proof and everything. So, but like we said before, there's an entire subplot with Team Rocket, and we don't know why what they're doing or why they're doing it. I don't know, but we're going to get a lot of them trying to sneak into a room at night. Okay, let's go back to Coco.
We didn't even talk Cramorant. Excellent addition to this movie.
Yeah, he's a fun guy.
Every single scene he's in is elevated by his presence.
Big spoilers. The credits, I don't know about in English, but in Japanese, the credits are Cramorant and Squovit dancing around having a great time.
Yes, and Cramorant's a great dancer.
So we got Dada, we got Ash, we got Coco in the lab where Coco's parents used to work. And look, here's a framed picture of you as a baby. And was it a mistake that Dada has raised this child? Because it turns out he's just going to be sad anyway.
I was a little bit confused. I understand, like, the argument that they were trying to present in the movie, or the problem that they had to present. I don't understand why Dada was like, was it a mistake for me to raise you? Because in the opening montage, it seemed like he tried to put him in the city, but he just kept almost dying. Like he almost got run over by a car.
That's correct. We didn't mention that earlier. In one of the opening little montages, Dada did try to just he should have just gone to a better place. He could have just brought them to the fire department or the police, and they would have.
But Zarude law. They don't know what the fire department is.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, he almost gets run over by a car. So he says, "Fine, I'll just raise it so it doesn't die."
So it seems like any internal struggle that Dada was having was, would it have been better to let you die?
Yeah, it's still. Okay, also, in Team Rocket news, they're fighting for their lives over trying to find this key card thing to get in this room. Cramorant steals it. Big deal. Okay.
And they're also only interested in this room because it is locked.
No, they need something in there. I just don't know what.
I remember them having a big old conversation saying, there's a big tell. The head doctor's office is locked. That's a bad sign. And they were just Are they the heroes of this movie?
We must have just not been paying attention. Okay, Ash and Coco are going to have a little heart-to-heart. This is a big deal. Ash starts talking to Coco about his dad, Ash's dad, which we've never seen, probably never will, and they somehow understand each other. So Coco's learning English quick.
It was a weird conversation in English because Ash at some point was just like, families sure are weird, aren't they?
Yeah.
And it pans up into the stars, and I was like, and now we'll learn about Ash's father. And nothing.
No, we don't have time for that. But I'll tell you what Ash does recognize in this little lab. It's an ID badge, and it's the same logo as the researchers he met earlier today. So let's go find him.
Capsule Corp. InGen.
Okay, so now we're going to get a scene between the Elder and Dada. And
also, I don't know if you mentioned this, but Coco does get an amulet necklace thing that is incredibly important.
That is incredibly important, yeah. I believe... Did they just find it on the ground? Or
Dada knew where it was, and he gave it to him.
Yeah, this is very important. This is from his mother, I believe. Definitely, it has very important information. Now we're going to get a scene with the Elder and Dada, and Elder says, "Oh, you finally told him, huh? Well, it has been a real long time since Celebi showed up. I don't think Celebi's been here since you've been around. And because the thing about Dada is he himself is an orphan. He doesn't know his Zarude parents. So that's why I said maybe he's in the egg from the future. Who's to say?
The Zarude culture is still, even after watching this movie, a complete mystery to me. So, sure.
Okay, we get a kind of serious little moment here when Dada says, "What, so you're saying this is all my fault? Celebi hasn't been here?" And I believe Elder says, "No, I'm not saying that." Okay, time for a little flashback to, like I said, we get 10 million flashbacks of Lil Coco trying to help a Pokemon, Dada saying, "I don't know about that." And there's a little baby Rufflet, and Coco says, "We just gotta bring it to the healing spring." And Dada says, "No, we can't do that. We're not allowed to, but here, let me try one little thing. I learned this little move at level 90, and he uses jungle healing, and that's apparently a very difficult move to use, and it takes a lot out of you. It's a signature move of almost said Zygarde again, Zarude, Taylor.
I know that same color scheme too. I know that they were trying to not make the Rufflet look like it was on the precipice of death, but they really should have done something to justify Zarude feeling so entirely wiped out afterwards.
No, it's just because you got to summon the whole jungle. The entire jungle has to go through you to use jungle healing. So it didn't matter. Okay, we're going to cut to the next day. A very sleep-deprived Team Rocket is walking around looking for Cramorant to get that key card. And they see Ash and Coco, and they do the classic Jotty Boy in Japanese. In English, do they call him like the twerps or something?
I can't remember.
Or the brat.
Probably something like that.
So it turns out, Taylor, we already said this, but we're learning it now for the first time. Coco's parents used to run this lab, the Molybdenums. How do you pronounce it? I actually looked this up.
It's, oh boy, is it molybdenums or something? I heard it and I was like, yeah, that's...
I'm looking. It's based off of it's a real thing, molybdenum.
Oh yeah,
Molybdenum.
Yep, perfect for children.
It's some sort of mineral or something. Okay, Mr. and Mrs. Molybdenum.
They should have just called them like the carbons or something.
Nah,
the carbones.
Anthony Carboni over here. Wait, who's Anthony? Taylor, I got terrible news about the Molybdenums. They died 10 years ago in a car accident. Spoilers, it was no accident.
Well, I was very confused because at this point, I'm trusting old Professor Zed. And because he's sounding so empathetic and he's like, oh no, I have such bad news. And I'm like, oh, Commander Zed, what are you going to tell everybody? And he says they died in a car accident. And I was thinking to myself, in my own naivety, how'd they get in a car accident? And how did Coco wind up in the middle of a river in the middle of an uncharted part of the forest?
Jungle, yeah. This whole movie falls apart to me because every plot point of this movie is, oh my God, it's been centuries since anybody's found this. And then everybody just walks to all the important areas, to the village, to the grand heart tree.
It seems like they're maybe, 5 kilometers from city center to Heart Tree?
It's ridiculous.
It should have been like a week. Should have been like, oh my God, we've been walking for days or
Pandora.
something.
Anyway, the very important pendant little ring that Taylor mentioned earlier, turns out that has the data for where the healing spring is. Wow.
They use a little security wand to scan it very quickly.
Coco.
And I'm thinking, if you have the technology for this and you have all these displays, surely you have a helicopter.
Surely. That's a good point. Especially with their giant mechas. Okay, Coco, this is me, Dr. Zed speaking. I need you to bring me to the healing spring. Just go and do that right now. Coco thinks to himself, the healing spring, you say? I've learned your language. The healing spring. Zarudes, all the Zarudes do not want people there. So I'm going to run away.
I know it was like a big plot point, but I was laughing so much whenever he shook his head because I'm thinking, there's nothing lost in translation here.
No, he's got it. I'm sure.
You just keep saying a healing spring, which I guess Ash must have taught him, or he heard on the street.
Heard on the radio.
And he shakes his head no.
Yeah, Squovit, I'm sure, is out there translating.
Yeah, translating.
Squovit's cracking me up in this scene. He just has no idea what to do. He's at a loss. He's just saying, I'm just a Squovit. What am I supposed to do?
Squovit interpreting everything via pantomiming is top tier storytelling.
So Ash is going to chase after Coco. Squovit's trying to tell Ash and Pikachu everything that happened. But oh my God, Taylor, that treacherous Dr. Zed, he slipped a tracker onto Coco, and out of nowhere, we get Fern Gully giant robots showing up to the Tree of Heart. Oh,
that's
no!
right. Humans arrive at the heart of Pandora.
Yep. Coco attacks Zed, but the robot grabs him. They're destroying the forest, Taylor. They capture Ash and Coco. Ariados wraps them up, and thank goodness, Team Rocket is put in charge of watching after them.
I'm watching this movie thinking, okay, so clearly Team Rocket are significantly more important in solving the problems and making sure justice is done than anybody else.
We couldn't have done it without him, to be honest.
Also, were you secretly hoping to finally see Pokemon on human violence?
There is a battle in this movie between a Pokemon and Coco, which was
it's just nice to get some things put into perspective.
Just punching Pokemon.
Just the mech. Well, I just throughout the movie, I'll talk about it later. Go.
Talk about it. All right. Okay, so here's the thing. All the Zarudes in the distance hear all the chaos and destruction. There's explosions happening with this robot right now. So Team Rocket have a great idea. They say, why don't we use the Pikachu to get into the director's room since we're in charge of him now? And then a couple Zarudes go to fight the robot to save the heart tree. So that's good.
And we get to see what I've always kind of wondered, which is, aren't Pokemon dangerous to humans? And I can't really say that I think Pokemon are less powerful than they seem to be. So it's less that Ash is a complete superhuman withstanding Pikachu's electricity, and more that Pokemon moves are not as effective as they seem.
Well, I tell you every week, in Legends ZA and Legends Arceus, Pokemon can hit you all day, and you can be knocked out from Pokemon moves. Some Pokemon are very strong, some people aren't. But it is a cartoon, and yeah, Ash is superhuman.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not as superhuman as Spider, though.
Oh, I don't know. But we get it's supposed to be a fun little scene where Ash and Coco are trying to escape, and then they're going to destroy the door they're locked in this little truck. But they don't know that Team Rocket already has a plan to save them. So then, right as Pikachu's going to barrel through the door, Team Rocket opens it, and in whose mouth does Pikachu land?
Cramorant.
Falls right into Cramorant's mouth and electrocutes him, and the key card pops out.
I would like to talk about this scene, because at this point, all of the researchers are okay with kidnapping children.
Oh,
every one of them is on board for child abduction.
Yeah, they changed their tune so quickly in this movie.
Because they're clearly voiced, certainly, as conscientious objectors, but there's a power dynamic that they can't overcome. But the way it's presented in the movie is that they are all not just complicit, but they're aiding General Zed in kidnapping children.
They'll take down Buzz Lightyear no matter what it's at. Okay, so Coco rushes at this point to go help the Zarudes with battling the robot. Pikachu's going to help too. He's got Iron Tail. That'll be great. here's the problem. We can't beat it. This is way too strong. We got a tactical retreat back to the Elder. Then we see Team Rocket sneaking into the director's room because they finally got the key card.
Finally, they can fulfill their objective.
Yeah, everybody's wondering about that. And then the researchers start to scan and attack the tree of life, the heart tree. And we cut back to Team Rocket, and Team Rocket's just watching these video diaries of Professor Zed talking about how evil he is.
It's such a weird. This was I was cracking up during the movie because Team Rocket are again doing the research of heroes. Ash has been abducted. All of the researchers helped abduct children and are now launching missiles at a tree in the forest. After Vice President Zed has said, I'm not after the healing properties of the water. I want the energy reserves. So he's just announced and categorized himself as a villain in a Captain Planet movie.
This very scene, thank goodness we got one person with a conscience, because Sharon, everybody's favorite character, the little research assistant, Sharon sees that she even makes sure, she says something like, well, you want it to help everybody, right? Like you want it for the good.
Oh,
and Evil Dead says, no, you completely misunderstand. Only for the most nefarious of reasons do I want it.
It's so good.
I will destroy... Sharon, listen to me. I will kill anyone that gets in my way.
Because he's confessing to murder. He's laying out his plot. And I'm thinking, why wouldn't you just say, oh yeah, everything would go... What? He's been wearing a disguise as a researcher for, at this point, at least a decade. Why on earth are you just yelling out, oh, no, I don't want to confuse you. I'm incredibly evil.
Yeah. Okay. So while that's happening, Dada's telling Coco, you must just run away with Ash. I'm too injured fighting these robots. I can't do it. Important to note, this is all happening in the rain to add to the drama. That's sick.
I forgot about that.
Is it time for the big showdown between everybody? No, Taylor, we must have a flashback. Let's have a flashback of the Coco parents, the Molly Beldams, stopping the research back, however many years ago, 10, 12 years ago, when they say, oh, I'm sorry, Zed, I know we're so close, but the thing is, if we continue with this research, we're going to hurt the Zaroots. So we're not.
And it was I thought there would be more than just President Zed being insane, because the way that they laid it out, I was thinking they kind of showed little flashbacks before when he was addressing all the researchers and saying, I'll go to any lengths necessary. I was assuming they were they were kind of being rash and maybe he overreacted because they were overreacting, but they said, we'll just search for a different solution. And he was like, no, this needs to happen now.
Yeah, rather than search for a different solution, he murders Coco's parents, the Molly Beldams, just runs them off the road, and they die in a giant explosion.
And there's an what a weird scene, because the mom is sending off baby Noah in a bassinet going down the river.
Is it Noah or Moses? I don't know my Bible stuff.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Baby Moses down the river in his little bassinet.
God, Noah's had such an adventure being a baby and then getting all the animals later.
Well, he's used to water. So he's floating down the river, and I guess they just know that they're not long for this world. I don't know how.
Well, she can tell that explosion's because they're a little bit scratched up, and then 5 seconds later, there's a giant fiery explosion, and you go, "Oh wow, that's violent."
There was no. Thank God he had video logs, because it wouldn't. You could have easily passed this off as any number of things. He absolutely didn't have to confess this. He didn't have to journal about it. And he didn't have to catalog his journal as a video diary that he saved.
Yeah, that was I'm thinking error in judgment.
He's leaving no uncertainty for anybody who walks this path after him.
Yeah, okay. Well, let's just jump out of the flashback back to present day. Dada's asking all the jungle Pokemon for help. Listen, I know you're upset at me. I know sometimes I'm rude to you to protect my son, my young Coco. But here's the thing. If you don't help me, everything's going to be destroyed. I'm on my hands and knees over here, dead as a rude. I have to protect Coco. And we get, I don't know how it was in English. In Japanese, it's the funniest sitcom moment I've ever seen as he individually points out to all the Pokemon and says, Flygon, Coco's always said how strong you are.
Oh,
and you, Ninjask, the fastest in all the jungle.
When did you start? I lost it. It caught me. Because everybody else, he's like, you're so strong, you're so fast, and you, when you're stuck, you can't get unstuck.
Okay, that was maybe my favorite scene of the movie when he just goes through every Pokemon.
There are a lot of contenders for best scene in the movie.
Okay, well, I think they're gonna go ahead and agree to fight with him. It's time for a big giant fight. We got Dada and the Jungle Avengers showing up, and Dada's in his super sick glowing vine form, and he's gonna destroy the Fern Gully Forest robot. Everyone attack! Oh my god! And the elders explaining, we gotta work together. My god, the first time since Celebi's ever returned, the forest is breathing. Oh my god, we got deep Dragon Ball Z fire blasts and grass beams, and the robot's going for Coco, but Dada saves him at the last second, takes a big giant hit in his darn side. He's injured to the point of death over here. And okay, oh my god, we got to get Dada Zaru to the spring, the healing spring. And I think to myself at this point, this seems like a real big battle for Ash not to throw out any of his other Pokemon.
So that was my confusion too, because Ash comes out of the woods and he's just saying, I'm taking a stand too. Meanwhile, to me, Taylor, I'm thinking Team Rocket's they're making sure this guy's going away for life.
Oh yeah.
They're doing they're going full girl with the dragon tattoo on Commander Zed.
So then we're going to cut to the healing spring, and my god, it's not working. All this damage the tree took, it's not healing fast enough. It's weakened. Oh my god. And then it appears like Dada Zaru dies. And when he starts to die, I think to myself, well, then who's in my Pokemon home box? Is that a ghost? Is he a ghost type?
Yeah.
And we get
maybe all of the Pokemon games maybe this is the last, alternate reality.
Gotta be, yeah. Then we're going to get a flashback. This one is a really cute one between Dada and Coco, promising to always protect each other. And Coco says, if the healing spring can't do it, looks like I'm going to have to use the Pokemon move, Jungle Healing, that only certain Zarude can use. And
he keeps saying, very important to the plot, he keeps saying, I'm your son.
Yeah, I'm your son.
Shouts out to the voice actor. Did a great job during this scene.
Yeah, it was very, very emotional, very sweet. All the other Zarudes are there. They're saying, you can't. It's impossible. You're merely a human. But Coco yells out, I'm your son, and it starts to work. Awa herself, the goddess of the jungle, starts to breathe and gives Coco the ability to use jungle healing to save his father. Trees growing everywhere, and shouts out that we saved the day, and Dada Zarude has come back to life.
So sick.
Now then, let's get back. Now that we got that taken care of, let's get back to the battle.
Real quick, I would like to note that I'm still going to count this as President Zed's third confirmed murder.
Oh, yeah, he's dead, yeah. But he was brought back to life, thank God. Power of Celebi and Jungle combined. Okay, Now then, if we want to beat this robot, we gotta find his weak point. You there, employee, do you know the weak point? And he says, yes, it's on the back. Just destroy the thing on the back and you'll destroy Zed. Okay?
Oh, boy.
It's fine, Taylor. It's fine. We get such a sick scene where they combine 2D and 3D, and we get Pikachu being so sick. Zarude grabs Pikachu, vines over, throws him at the back of the robot, and he Iron Tails the whole thing on the back and destroys it. So
now, I think that's actually selling it a little bit short, because Pikachu gets passed around like a what are the score things in Quidditch?
Oh yeah, there's waffle
not
balls.
The golden snitch.
The Duffel brother balls.
Yeah, the Duffel brawls.
But no, I just got to say, Taylor. By the way, this is Alpha Zarude. Okay, go ahead, Taylor.
This scene it very much felt like a Quidditch match to me, where it's just following the perspective behind Pikachu as he's passed between each different Pokemon, and the Pokemon that are throwing him around get attacked by the robot, and then as they're being hit by the robot, they throw him to another one. And it's a very sick scene. And the whole time that they were fighting before this, I kept thinking the same thing you did, which is, Okay, but let's just get out Charizard. Or something. This is why he only used Pikachu.
Yeah, it was very sick. Lost Patrol. Oh, I was going to say, it reminded me of the very difficult level in the Lion King game for Super Nintendo when all the monkeys are throwing Simba. Very tough.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so we destroyed the robot, but my God, Zed has escaped. He's run into the tree.
Somehow, he teleports.
Yeah, he's fine. He's good.
I really don't understand that.
He makes it all the way to the tree. He's on this big tree piece stump thing. I don't know. It's overlooking the river.
Yeah. It's a ledge. It's a Disney villain ledge.
Yeah, Disney villain ledge. Coco, furious, attacks him. His rage is growing, and the Zarude are all saying, no, Coco, don't kill him. And thank goodness, Coco's pure golden heart saves the day, because when Commander Zed jumps off and is about to die in the river, Coco throws his vine out. So I don't know if we mentioned this, but this whole movie, he's had vines like wrapped around
ropes.
his arms to look like a Zarude. Yeah, little vines, whatever. But they're brown instead of green like Zarude. But he uses it to grapple hook save Zed. So that was nice.
Now, the whole time we've been watching this, I've been thinking, I wish this was a Disney movie. Because if this was a Disney movie, this villain is 100% falling from a high place.
Yeah, he did.
And that's going to, like, into the mist or whatever.
Oh.
When they actually executed this, I don't know that would have taken him out, because he would have fallen into the healing waters. Yeah. And even though they're diluted.
Yeah, they're not as strong as they used to be.
Maybe he would be okay.
That's a good point. Now we're going to cut to the researchers. They've like Taylor mentioned before, they were fine being evil. Now we're all good, because they're all working together to fix everything. And the elder is talking to all the Zarudes and saying, guys, maybe we've been wrong this whole time. Maybe the real truth is we got to get along and form a bridge between human and Pokemon, and all the other Pokemon, and that's where it's going to be our future from now on. We're changing Zarude law over here,
Yep. Shockingly, they're not taking out all the humans that know where the sacred heart of the forest is.
No, we'll just be friends now, probably. Then all the Zarudes show up to everybody. Sharon promises to make things right, even if it takes years. We're going to plant trees. And then it's the scene we talked about earlier, Taylor, where all the Zarudes start doing the Dada Zarude trick, which is they pull little magical seeds out of their wrists, vines, and now they're planting a bunch of trees everywhere. And they're singing, just like the opening of the movie. Except
it's like plantruff instead of dandruff.
Oh, I got you. But in the beginning of the movie, their song, I believe, was a little... like evil. They're like, we're Zarudes and we eat all the stuff and we don't care about anybody.
Yeah, it seemed very much a song of like domination.
Yeah, but now their song is, we're Zarudes and we love everybody. We're gonna get along.
I just keep thinking of Cottony.
Yeah. Oh, Cottony. Cottony.
Cottony did do a lot in that battle, because the robot couldn't move.
Perfect.
When you get stuck together, you never go apart.
Shouts out, MVP. Okay, let's have a little scene where the elder talks to Coco, and he says, Coco, my boy, I'm so proud of you. I'm sorry that I abandoned you and didn't let you in the village for years, but you know what? You did it. You bridged the gap between all of us, since you are both human and a Zarude, technically, so that's great.
Yeah.
It's at this point Ash decides, well, guess I better be hitting the old dusty trail. See ya, guys. Bye. And then, thank goodness, Elder says, all right, you guys proved your worth. Dada Zarude, Coco, you know what? You're invited back to the tribe. You can live with us. It'll be great. But Taylor, Coco has learned so much about the world. He doesn't want to stay here anymore. He wants to go on his own big Pokemon journey.
He saw fireworks.
My first thought at this is, buddy, I don't know if maybe you should take a few English lessons or Japanese lessons before you just go out on a big adventure. Because how are you going to get
The best way to learn is to immerse yourself.
It's a good point.
Just get stuck, start licking a lot of Pokeballs, and saving rampaging Crawdons.
Okay. I need you to explain to me how this works in English, because in Japanese, it's a little confusing. In Japanese, it seems like Dada Zarude gets into a fake argument with his son saying, don't you leave. But in reality, he wanted his son to leave and go on an adventure. But he feels like the only way he's going to do that is if he feels like he has something to prove. So he's saying, fine, leave me. I don't care.
Okay, so in English, it makes no sense. It's like whoever was the script supervisor was like, oh, we need to have that thing where the one character acts really mad at the other one, so the other one leaves. But it was totally unnecessary because Coco was like, "Oh, I need to go on an adventure," and the dad was like, "I hate you."
Yeah,
I'm just the other Zarude are like, "Was that necessary?" And the dad's like, "Yeah."
They both could have just said, "Yeah, that's fine. Go on a journey, and we love and support you." But instead, they have to pretend.
Come back.
Instead, Dada has to pretend he doesn't want this, which I don't, because after Coco leaves in a huff, he says, "Pretty good acting, huh? Do you think he bought it?" Okay,
it's yeah.
Whatever.
It's fine.
Okay, Coco's going to chase after Ash with his.
Maybe it makes sense in the Italian dub.
Yeah, probably. Coco chases after Ash. He's got his little leaf satchel backpack full of berries. And then he starts to cry because he trips and falls. Well, he's not crying because he trips and falls. He cries because after he trips and falls, he sees that Dada Zarude put his favorite berry in there that he knows he didn't pack himself. So he's like, my father does love me. Also, I guess.
Thank God.
Yeah, thank goodness. We could have just said that to each other. I don't know. It's Zarude law.
Yeah.
Different culture. I guess the Tree of Heart is doing great now.
Mm-hmm.
He's fine. He's healed, I guess.
Yeah, the missiles were nothing.
Yeah, nothing. Squovit bawling his little eyes out because he's going to miss Coco so much. That was his friend. That was his boy.
I really thought Squovit was going to go with Coco.
That would have been fun. But he's just a Squovit. What's he going to do? I mean, come on.
I mean,
he should have gone with Coco. You're right, Tyler.
He's been holding his own.
Yeah, he's been great. He needs him to translate. Okay, we're back in the Pokemon Center that we opened this with Ash. Ash is calling his mom. His mom says, wow, you never are the one to call me. And we get such a good scene. Just the TV's playing and Team Rocket looks up and sees the TV. It's just this news report about, so there was a murder 10 years ago and we're locking up General Zed for life.
So that means that Team Rocket turned in all of the footage in the video diaries of his confessions. Team Rocket, 100% of the heroes of this film.
Yeah. I mean, ideally there was some like reward money for solving this cold case. I don't know.
I think they just did it because they're secretly much better protagonists than Ash.
All right. Well, goodbye, Zed. You'll be locked up for life. Officer Jenny will make sure of it.
I wonder if this is the first time she's had to arrest somebody for multiple counts of murder.
Yeah, probably. And now we get what I've been waiting for the entire movie. Shiny Celebi shows up. Wow,
I was cracking up. And one of the Zarude looks over its shoulder, sees Shiny Celebi, and is like, I guess things are okay, or something like that. And I was thinking, like what?
Yeah, things are going to be all right now that Shiny Celebi's here. And this is where they reveal the whole time Dada's pink scarf, it had a Celebi on it whole time. Very sick.
Very sick.
And then we get the credits, like I mentioned before. It's cute Squov and Cramorite dancing. And another adorable thing, I don't know if they put this in English, but they show off little artwork made by kids during the promotion of the movie. And that concludes the movie. As far as a score to give it, I was thinking about a 9.0 maybe, but I don't know what to judge it against. Maybe it's in the 8s because a lot of the plot is so goofball with the villain, with General Zed recording his confessions. That's weird.
A lot of it was, I kept trying to frame everything as this is a kid's movie.
Yeah.
Like, this is something that you would take a child to the theater for. Like, I mean, it's hard to compare it to Pokemon the first movie because we would have been kids when we were watching that. I had a tough time too, but comparing it to, so I'm just going to go pure enjoyment factor. I don't care about sick. I don't care about cute because it had both of those in spades. I think it was just very fun to watch. It was very well paced. They handled a lot of really unique concepts like the parental role, where you're born versus how you're raised is a really interesting concept to put in a kid's movie. The music was very forgettable.
Well, maybe in English. In Japanese, I had fun with music.
I loved seeing Team Rocket again, and I loved how stealthily integral they were to the film.
Yeah, they were great. They're so good at forging, I don't know, background checks or something because they fooled everybody into thinking they're supposed to be there.
So funny. Even the parts of the movie that were normally I would roll my eyes at if it was done by the Horizons team, I was cracking up. Like his ridiculous, incredibly thorough self-incrimination was hysterical. It was so funny.
Yeah, this was an enjoyable movie.
It's very good. I'm going to give it a 9.2.
9.2.
I think it's worth a watch.
I'll probably give it a 9.0. The most difficult thing I'm dealing with is when I review something, I have to have a comparison point. So Poké-tunes versus other Poké-tunes, Horizons versus other Horizons.
I mean, you could do it against other movies.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing, versus other movies. And I haven't seen all the movies. I saw the first 3 of them. I saw the Darkrai movie. I saw the black and white movie in theaters. That was a neat one because it was like alternate universe. So like if you watched it in theaters, it would all be about let's say Zekrom. I don't remember which is which, but let's say you watched it in theaters, it was all about Zekrom. If you watched it on streaming later, it was all about Reshiram. So that's
incredibly cool. Why don't they do that more?
I don't know. It doesn't make money, I guess. Okay. I just want another Pokemon movie. Can we just 2026 30th anniversary? Please get another Pokemon movie, please. We waited 6 years.
There'll be a plush though. There'll be a Pikachu plush.
9.0, great movie. You should try making other movies. Game Freak.
Really, it's an hour and a half long. It's a nice, quick movie. It goes by. Before I knew it, I was at the 15-minute mark. I thought I was like just past the intro, and it said 15 minutes. I was shocked.
Better than I thought it would be. Cute stuff, fun stuff, good themes. There's not too much. I mean,
that
we covered
moment
it when we discussed.
Yeah, that moment with Coco saying so rude, and me being like, oh wow, that is very sick.
Fun time. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the wrap up, everybody. This is Look, Listen, Cast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube. We're actually on the other podcast services too, but I just like mentioning those ones. Please leave a like, leave a comment, please. Thank you very much. I appreciate that so much. Thank you to Keith for our artwork. That's twitch.tv/Keith Squared. Thank you. Shouts out Professor website for the
Ticklebits
and the boilerplate. That's twitch.tv/prof_Ticklebits. And you can recommend this podcast to your friends and family. If they don't like Pokemon, they can just listen to the first half. If they like Pokemon, you can listen to the second half. If you like both of those things, you can listen to everything.
Honestly, if they like Fern Gully, Dances with Wolves, Avatar, this is great for them.
Yeah, you're going to love it. You're going to love every second. Hopefully we have an episode of Horizons to watch next week. Please, God. Please also send any questions, thoughts, concerns, listencast@gmail.com. Thank you so much. And now it's time to say goodbye. Let's get out of here.
Goodbye.
Life is more than enough.
Goodbye.
Stop saying goodbye.
Howdy, y'all. It's me, Geese Peep. Thank you for listening to the Geese Peep Productions podcast.
Geese Peep Enterprises, doing business as Peep Industries, together with its subsidiaries, is a diversified worldwide entertainment company with operations in media networks, talent management, parks and resorts, multimedia entertainment, and consumer products and interactive media. Geese Peep Enterprises is a Dow 30 company.